Come on. There we go. Hello. How's it going? I'm Ian. Welcome into my maker time. Happy Thursday. Hope you're all doing well. RJ, good to see you. Jay Brinker, good to see you as well. Yeah, so entries, points will tell you how many points you've got. It will also recalculate your points from time to time based on how long you're watching the stream. Things that you do like commands and chatting and all that kind of stuff will give you additional points as well, kind of as we go. Saturday is our 2-year streamiversary around here. July 8th, 2021 was our first stream and, well, first live, like, I'm ready to start stream. There were a couple of like, hey, come help me test my streaming setup before that happened. But yeah, it's 2 years. So I'm probably going to do some kind of like donate-a-thon or something like that. I know a lot of people do subathons, but I don't need folks to sub to my channel. But if you'd like to donate to STEM to the Future, I might add some extra time. I'm probably going to do that later in the day though, because we're going to be like, we've been planning and trying for a little while to get a whole bunch of old furniture into like one of these bags that you put out in your driveway and you fill it up with junk, and then someone comes and like picks the thing up and hauls it away. And so we want to start that process over the weekend probably. So Saturday is going to be kind of a long, tiring day. So I figured what better way to end the day than to have a stream and some sort of stream-a-thon. But yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Hey, Bets, good to see you. So yeah, welcome in. So for the daily giveaway, you can do bang giveaway. We're going to give away an articulated dragon today. And there's also commands up here for the big monthly giveaways. So if you haven't been around, I'm happy to show off the prizes. If you do exclamation point prizes, you can see what they're going to be for the month of July. We've got like 5 pretty decent sized prizes. So the first one is the Dragon Head Trophy, which I'm airbrushing. It's pretty much finished. And this is what it's going to look like. I got a few like little touch-up things I want to do. So you're going to get it in 2 pieces, and you'll have to figure out how you want to attach this on here. I would recommend some kind of like 3D printing adhesive, and there's a little hole in the back to actually mount it to the wall. Or if you want me to, I will attach it on here and like ship it all as one piece. So I can ship that all as one piece if you like. It came out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that. The second gift on the list is the supersized Great Dragon, which is from Fat Dragon Games. You've all seen like this dragon that I've printed a ton of times. That we airbrushed as smog. I basically supersized it, and it's now 220% big. So I might start airbrushing this a little bit tonight if folks want me to do some airbrushing. I've got a lot of different things that we could do tonight. So we're going to kind of start airbrushing this. The body of it's back here. The wings are flipping enormous. So that's going to be another one. The third one is a resin dragon. That one's printing right now. So it came in 2 different sizes. It came in like a large and a small size. And I'm like, let's try the large one. What's the worst that could happen? It's big. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty big. Let me show you the model, and then I'll show you for scale how big the thing would be. So let me go over to this window and try to find my browser window so that I may show you the enormity of this thing. Let me go find all my browsers at. Which browser is it? It's this browser. This page. This page. So it should have been that one. No, not Spotify. I want that Chrome window. Why won't it show me that Chrome window? That's the Chrome window that I want. Site.loot studios. Why won't it show me that Chrome window? It's my Twitch chat. It's not in that window. So now it's not coming up. Let me go back to this screen and then go back to this screen and try again if I can find it. There we go. So this is the size of it. So there's 2 wings. There's a left wing and a right wing. This is the right wing. No, this is the left wing. So like that. basically. So it turned out this thing was going to get pretty enormous. So I decided I was going to print a small version instead. So I kept this one just to kind of see like what it was going to be like to actually like put the pieces together. You can see the big weld in the middle here. I welded this bit on here. There's a tiny little piece that welds on here. And by the time I got into like sanding and grinding this one off to fit, I'm like, you know what, this thing is going to be like really enormous. And I was actually going to run out of resin trying to print it. So I'm printing it again. I actually printed out, so this was the left wing. It comes in 5 pieces. The right wing came in 3 pieces. I printed it at 100% size as well. And it's actually on the machine right now curing. It actually just beeped at me that it's finished. I have to turn the pieces over and continue to cure it. But I decided I'm going to do a slightly smaller version. But even the smaller version is still going to be fairly decently big. So that's going to be the third one. So the third one on the list is that dragon printed in resin. So it's going to be incredible detail. Like absolutely incredible detail. The third one on the list, or the fourth one on the list, is Lego X-Wing Fighter, and that's going to be this Lego kit. So it comes with a couple of minifigs, and then that's if you don't like dragons. If you don't like dragons, why are you here? Just kidding. And then the fifth one is also a dragon. It's basically going to be a like the flexi dragons that I give away, but it's enormous. It's almost 4 feet long, and the head on it is like the size of my fist. It's really, really large. It's coiled up over here. Here's the giant-sized version of the Flexi Dragon. It's enormous. So this is also going to be one of them. Digital Dragon, what's going on? Hey everybody, welcome in. Digital Dragon was building some printer stuff earlier, so welcome in. So Digital Dragon, 2 things just happened. You got put in my giveaway for Raiders that I draw from every quarter. 2 quarters ago, we did Madeline Patience, who is a programming streamer, and she wanted a Flexi Dragon in green, so I printed one in kind of a matte green, and then I airbrushed it, all different shades of greens and golds and stuff, and she flippin' loved it. Last quarter, I actually drew Brit's name, so Cratrix Brit was drawn, and I told Brit, like, hey, I know you're into cosplay, so if you want me to print, post-process, and airbrush any kind of piece of cosplay, let me know. I'm your guy. And she wrote back and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. So we're going to collaborate on something and I'll get that to Brit. But yeah, so this is our 5th giveaway. So I was just showing off all the giveaways. So Digital Dragon, so that's one of the giveaways that you got put into. The second thing that happened is for the month of July, I'm doing tons of daily giveaways. But I'm also doing like monthly, like these big monthly giveaway prizes, including this giant Flexi Dragon that I just showed you, as well as this resin print that you see here on the screen. It's going to be probably 12 inches tall, maybe 14 inches wide when it's done. And Digital Dragon, you just got more giveaway points for bringing your community over as well. So anybody that raids in, you also get a commensurate amount of points as well. So you raided in, it just gave you a bunch of points on that as well. So let's go back to this screen so you can all see the commands. So you will need to ! register. If you've already filled out the form, you can try ! registered past tense, and it'll try to pull over your details if it continues to tell you that you're not registered and you have filled out the form. But bang register will give you a URL for a form that you can fill out, and that'll just ask for your name and your address just so I can ship stuff to you ahead of time. Also, if you subscribe to my newsletter on that form, you can give me the email address that you use for the newsletter. That will also give you additional points. If you register for the newsletter after the fact, you can send a whisper over to my chatbot. So the ID736 bot, you can send a whisper with ! email, space, and then your email address, and that will try to re-register your newsletter email and give you points for subscribing for any of them, and then 50 points each for each of the newsletters. And then at the end of the month, it's going to keep track of like how far through the newsletters you got, and it's going to give you even more points. So the third command up here then is exchange, where you can choose to exchange points for tokens, and then you can reserve those tokens for prizes. So you don't have to convert all of your points. Any points you don't roll over, or any points you don't exchange for tokens will roll over month to month until we do the next big monthly giveaway, which will be October. But any that you do convert into tokens, those will go away at the end of the month. So those tokens you can then reserve for any of those 5 prizes that I just showed, and you can choose which of the giveaway prizes you want to enter for. So if you have, say, 10 tokens and there are 5 prizes, you can put 2 tokens on each prize. You can put all 10 on one prize if you really want that one. So the more points you gain, the more tokens you can get, and the more likely your chances of winning one of those monthly prizes. So Digital Dragon, thank you for raiding over. Hope the rest of your stream went well. I really love that black and red sort of color scheme that you're doing on that 3D printer. It looks really, really nice. So, sorry I had to duck out at some point. I had to get some work done. I would love to just sit around and watch streamers all day and like interact in chat, but I do have to work, unfortunately. I had a bunch of work that I had to get done today. So, Bet says I need a 3D printed buck-mounted head. Well, I'm all about dragons, so I can help you out on dragons there. But unfortunately, I don't have any deer heads. I mean, if you squint, you could maybe make this look like a deer if you squint at it. But I mean, I don't know, evil red eyes and crocodile-looking teeth might not go over quite so well as a deer, but you squint, from a distance and kind of maybe might look like a deer. Ultimate Dragon, get a dragon raid. Hey Triclaw, good to see you. So yeah, exclamation point giveaway for today's giveaway. We're going to give away a Flexi Dragon. I've got a number of color choices, so whoever the recipient is for that, you will have a claim command that you'll have 60 seconds. When your name is drawn, you do exclamation point claim, and that will and you have 60 seconds basically from when your name gets drawn. I'm still working on getting a timer up on the screen to show you that how much time you've got left, but you got that 60 seconds basically, and then we'll redraw, and I will redraw up to 3 times. And if people are consecutively not here, then we'll save the giveaway for another day. Anytime we happen to get over 50 people in chat, so if you want to go tell some other people to come over, I've got the Ahsoka Tano lightsaber set from Clone Wars. This set was printed in white and hand airbrushed and detailed by me, and it's got glow-in-the-dark orange blades, and so there's a pair of these. And so anytime, as soon as we ever get 50 people in chat, I'm going to immediately start a giveaway for those lightsabers. Hey Westry, good to see you as well. Iron Man Dragon. So I think Digital Dragon was going to call the thing Iron Dragon, right? Need to commission a red and copper dragon. So hold that thought, Digital Dragon. I'll be right back. So Emmeline makes a red and gold rainbow filament. It's not quite copper, and it's going to be a little more on the yellow gold side of things, but it is a transition filament from red to gold. And tell you what, if you win the giveaway tonight, I'll print it for you in that red and gold. Or if anybody else wants it in red and gold. Or if anybody else wins and you just want to give it to Digital Dragon, I'll do it in red and gold. But yeah, Emmeline makes this one. It's one of their silk shiny PLAs, and I think they literally just call it red gold. They've got some really, really nice rainbow filaments. They're some of my favorite filaments, and the dragons turn out really, really nice in that filament. So if you're lucky enough to win the giveaway tonight, I'll do it in the red gold. So cool. So bets do bang points. So, actually, it already went through. So, because Bets has been following for a long time, Bets got a boatload of points for following. And so, you've got 382 points. So, now you can do exclamation exchange for how many tokens you want. So, it's a 10-to-1 ratio. So, 380 points, you can get 38 tokens. So, you can exchange all of them if you want. You can say tokens 38, or you can only do some of the points if you want to roll them over. Totally up to you. But there you go. So, now that you've got... Actually, let's see. So Westry has giveaway points as well. So yeah, once you exchange for tokens, then you can say, based on the list of prizes, you can say, I want to reserve this many tokens for this item. So you can say bang tokens resin 5, and that will reserve 5 of your tokens for the resin dragon, things like that. So I'm going to work on getting instructions written in the about section down below. But if you go check out the Discord community, and go look at the giveaway info channel and the announcements channel. I document all the commands and stuff in there. So go check out our Discord community. There it is. There's a link for it. Thank you, bot. And it will it'll give you all the details that you can use there. And if you have questions about it, please, by all means, give me feedback on Discord or give me feedback here. More than happy if it's too confusing. But I wanted to give viewers the option of whether they want to exchange the points, how many points they want to exchange, and then for which of the prizes they want to exchange the tokens for. Other streamers, they'll say like, oh, I want to, everybody gets points. You turn those into tickets or tokens or whatever, and then all of those tickets go to one prize. I like having lots of prizes because, again, I want you to have the choice. Do you want this dragon or this dragon or this dragon or this dragon? Or if you don't want any dragons, I got a Lego kit. So you get to choose which of those prizes you want, or maybe you want all of them and you're going to split your tokens evenly. Or you're like, no, I really want this dragon, but maybe I'll put 1 or 2 tokens in the other ones. And I do cap it at like a couple of 100 tokens per user per prize. So yeah, the more you chat, if you tweet or retweet or post something on LinkedIn about me going live and that we're raising money for STEM to the Future, then you can come into chat and you can share that with a bang link command. So bang link, and then you paste in the link. That will give you additional entry points. So as I review it and we all go like it and whatever, I'll award you an amount of points for that. If you ask a question in chat, meaningful question about, something I do around crafting time or interview preparation, I'll give you points for those questions, and then I can mark them as answered. And so there's an exclamation point Q that you can use. Let's see, what else? How else can you gain points around here? Obviously rating in. Watch time, so just lurking in the background. You'll get tracked by Streamer.bot for paying attention in chat, and it'll track like how many minutes you watch. And so occasionally, whenever you do exclamation point points or entries, it will say like, hey, you've been watching for some block of minutes. I'm going to turn those into points. So I think it's a 10-to-1, or it's a 2-to-1 ratio. I think for every minute you watch, you get 2 points, or every 2 minutes you watch, you get a point. Something like that. I forget. We just changed it the other day because I wanted to be like super generous with the points on hanging out and watching. So on each of the prizes that you see over here, you're going to see a code word like trophy, great, resin, Lego, and flexi. So when you do the tokens command, you'll do like tokens flexi 5, or you can say tokens 5 flexi. If you get those 2 parameters mixed up, it'll take them either way. But you'll use the code word that you see over here for each of those prizes for the token reservation, basically. So bets you can do like tokens Lego 37, for example, and that will reserve 37 of your 38 tokens for the Lego kit. There's also a channel point redemption. So if you've got more than 10,000 channel points here on Twitch, you can also exchange those, and I think it'll give you 25 points for every 10,000 channel points. So bets it'll need to be lowercase Lego. Oh, you know what? No, you just tripped a bug. Something doesn't have a name command. Okay, bear with me for a sec. Bets found a bug. Let me go fix that real quick, and I'll get that fixed for everybody. I thought we caught all these bugs the other day, but apparently we found a new one, so thank you. Bear with me for a minute. If you do lowercase Lego, it should work. But let me double check, because I think I've got... Let's see, where is that code? So to double check, you can do exclamation point tokens just by itself, and that will tell you whether you've reserved tokens for anything. But when you're trying to reserve tokens for a particular item, there's a problem with showing you which item you just reserved for. So I'm going to go fix that real quick. Line 716. So if you just do bang tokens, it'll show you how you've got those reserved right now. And it should show you that you've reserved those tokens. The other thing I was trying to work on the other day was a give all command, where I can like just give you all a bunch of points just for hanging out and enduring these bugs. Let's see, there was item.name. You have reserved some amount of tokens. You have reserved for item.name. There it is. So we want to do this for pg_item.name. Okay. So the next time somebody tries to reserve tokens, that should work. But let's try that give all command. Let's see whether that's going to work for us now. because I really wanted to do like a give all like 100 the other day for that. Is that gonna work? It's still not gonna work. Why is that still broken? It's broken. 285. Just send a message coming from line 348, which is here. Okay. That was because of some other code that I entered, that I wrote today. That out for a moment. I'm just going to restart the bot here real quick. All right, so now if I try give all 100, a different error. All right, so my give all command is still broken. I will continue to work on that one. So next time I stream, hopefully I'll have it fixed by then, and then I'll be able to give you all extra points for hanging out and enduring these bugs. So yeah, thanks for alert bets. Good to see you. Mighty Bean, good to see you as well. Let's see. So Mighty Bean, you will need to register. If you already filled out the registration form, do ! registered past tense, and it'll copy over your details. Otherwise, you can just do bang register. It'll give you a form to fill out, and that just gets your name and your address ahead of time. So we're going to give away a Flexi Dragon tonight. And I've got a ton of things I can work on. I can work on helmets. I can work on some airbrushing. So I might throw a poll up here in a minute to see what you all want me to work on. Westry, thanks for lurk as well. We'll make sure to talk about you behind your back as soon as you leave. So we'll count to 30, and then we'll start trash talking Westry. Just kidding. Westry's having fun with the new Prusa printers. It's cool to see that working. Totally trash talk you. You love it. All right, you got it. Cool. So Digital Dragon, how was the rest of your stream? I sent you a Twitch DM, by the way. I don't know if you had a chance to see it or not. RC, yeah, she got, well, I gave Westry one of my Prusa Mark III S systems, and Digital Dragon fixed up a Prusa Mini as well. So yeah, so she's rocking 2 Prusas now, and printing the new Captain America shield upright on the Prusa Mark III. So it'll be cool to see the progress on that. Should make a bobblehead LM from your model. I mean, any kind of bobblehead would be cool. You did see the Whisper. All right, cool. Let's see what else is going on. So yeah, so I've got the giant dragon. So the giant, this is one of the giveaways. Some folks in chat wanted me to airbrush this as kind of a fairy dragon. So I was thinking like do it up in like kind of tan neutral, kind of gold colors, and then highlights with, you know, bright neon blue, neon green, neon pink, and purple, things like that. Like really, really bright colors with like white outlines and stuff like that. But, you know, Scowly face. We got to try to figure out how are we going to make Scowly face here look like a fairy dragon. And what color of eyes should I put on it as well? So I figured we could start mixing up some paints. If you all want me to airbrush, neon or pastels, yeah, or both. I mean, I was thinking like kind of like muted earth tones on the body, and then like probably brighter colors. I mean, I could do pastels. Well, actually, could I do pastels? I have more neon colors, I think, than I have pastels. I mean, I could probably mix up softer paints and make them look kind of pastel. So yeah, so Westry got a Prusa Mini that wasn't working, and took it to Murph, I believe, and Digital Dragon got it all fixed up and working at Murph, so that was awesome. A Fey Dragon, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like for a Fey Dragon, Fairy Dragon kind of thing. Might go pearlescent for the eyes. I mean, I got a lot of different pearlescents. Like I could do pearlescent white. I could do like silvers, metals, like golds or coppers. I could do a lot of different colors for the eyes there. So lots of choices. I'm also working on some helmets. So this is the Mandalorian helmet that I'm doing for GBAV. I got it all sanded and I got the first coat of primer on here, but I need to sand the primer and then look for spots that I need to put filler on and then get that filled out, because the top, you tend to, it's probably not even going to show up on camera because it's too bright, but whenever you print something round on top, you get kind of those stripes, you know, where the nozzle's going around, and this definitely suffers from that. So I'm gonna sand down the primer, and then I'll probably put a bit of filler in here, and then I'll wait for that to cure, and then I'll sand that down. But I got some sanding to do on this. I did a Daredevil cowl in gray and put Bondo on it, which in retrospect, I shouldn't have put quite so much Bondo on it because this stuff makes a mess. And the last time I did Bondo, I sanded, and my dog loves to come visit, and my dog has blonde hair. And he came to visit and laid down in all of the dust and got up, and he was bright pink from the dust. And that took a little while to wash out because I wanted to make sure that he didn't lick it off his fur. And so it took a little while to get that off of him. But I could sand that one down because this one actually needed a lot of work. So we've got a couple of helmets. We've got the cowl. I could start airbrushing the Dr. Doom mask. Or we've got the dragon for the giveaway. So yeah, we got lots of choices tonight. Fey Dragon is the name I gave my Voron. Sweet. Now you gotta go check on Khaleesi and the baby dragon. All right, cool. Oh, is that what you called the mini? You called the mini dragon, the Prusa mini baby dragon? That's great. So yeah, Westery nicknamed the Prusa 3 Khaleesi because it's, you know, it prints dragons really well. So I figured Mother of Dragons, call it Khaleesi. So I've also got a Bo-Katan Kryze helmet for G-Bav's girlfriend. That one has been primed twice, sanded, filled, and just got another coat of primer right before dinner. It's not quite finished drying before I sand that, but once I sand that, it'll be ready for the metallic paint. And then I can get it in here and actually do the final airbrushing and like do the masking on it and do that. So that'll probably be next week's stream, is like masking off that helmet. I've got some really cool ideas for a visor for that one. And then I've got to 3D print all of the accessories that go on the side of the helmet and stuff like that. So, but yeah, welcome in everybody. RC, good to see you. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, RC got a workbench built. Sent me some pictures of the new work area. It's looking good. RC, I'm curious how well those plastic floor pieces are going to hold up now with like the workbench, and as you load up the workbench with stuff, how well those plastic things work out. So I'm always curious about how resilient those floor pieces are going to be. So fell off my chair. That would have been embarrassing. So I turned the resin pieces over, and they're going to cure for another 4 minutes, and I'll show you what the other wing is going to look like on that resin print. The amount of detail on the wing is pretty incredible. Like as far as the texture goes, it looks a little off just because I did so much sanding and grinding on it last night, but it's got a really cool, I was going to say reptilian, but I mean that would probably be the best way to describe it. And then, you know, joining them together and trying to weld them together and stuff like that. And there's a lot of dust on there, but the dust on it actually helps really see the texture with the pits and valleys and stuff like that. So the amount of detail that came through on the dragon is really nice. But it was going to be absolutely enormous. And they were also really aggressive. Like they put all these little knobs and you know, buttons and things like that to put them in. And I ended up having to grind off some of the buttons because they were so aggressive with how the pieces fit. But like if I join the wing here, I got this big giant gap. And if I make it fit over here, then I end up with a gap over on this side. So something didn't get put together right, or the tolerance on the printer wasn't good or something. I'm like, I figured this was gonna be good practice. I wish I was talented enough to like just fill this gap in with resin, like mask it off and just put a bunch of resin in there and cure it with a flashlight or something. But I didn't wanna. So I'm gonna reprint it in a smaller size, but I've got the larger size of the opposite wing on the cure station right now. So I'll show you those when they're done. Is it from the print warping or just the print not fitting well? I think it's a bit of both. So you do have to be a little bit careful with resin. When you take it out of the resin printer, it's still a little bit soft, and if you're too aggressive with peeling off the supports, you can bend it a little bit. And once you cure it, it kind of hardens in that shape. And so I didn't want to put the pieces together and then cure it, because then they might cure together, and I didn't want that to happen. But in retrospect, I should have been a little more careful, I think, with it. I could use a heat gun and like melt it back, however it needed to go. But vertically, like everything kind of lined up, but then like, because there's 3 different axes that these things print on, and they didn't all print upright, like they were all printed at different angles and stuff like that with supports. And so it might have just been my slicing. I'm not really sure. So the smaller version, the whole wing is one piece, where on the larger version, the one wing was 5 pieces, the other wing is 3 pieces, and in the smaller edition of it, it's like 1 piece per wing. Like each wing is a piece, the body is a piece, where on the other one, I think the body was like 4 or 5 pieces, the tail was like 5 or 6 pieces, the head and neck, I think, were a couple of pieces. In the smaller version, the head and neck is all 1 piece, the tail is all 1 piece, the body and the legs are all 1 piece. So I'm hoping that it's going to fit a little bit better together, but it's still going to be a sizable print even when that's done. And for the model, for what it is, if I go back over to here, it's going to be plenty big. So even if the wingspan on it is like this big, that's still going to be a pretty decent sized model. Like the building, I'm still expecting that building to be 10 inches tall. So we'll see, like, once everything gets printed. But I've basically started printing the building tonight in the smaller scale. It's got about 3 hours to go on the building. So I'll put some pictures up on Instagram later tonight if you want to follow me on the socials. And I am on Threads now, apparently, so you can follow me on Threads with the same username. And I got on Blue Sky as well, so I'm also Ian Douglas 736 on Blue Sky. Anyway, floor panels are doing well. Okay, I think it'll do fine, as IKEA literally advertises them with furniture and people sitting on it. Yeah, I'm curious how the 3D printed version works out. So RC basically took these floor panels from IKEA that are like these interlocking, like 3 lines this way, 3 lines this way, kind of alternating pattern, and made like a whole floor for like his whole workshop kind of area. And then he's got like workbenches and stuff on that. So I'm kind of curious with the focused weight though, like from a table leg down on 1 piece, like how well that piece is going to hold up. Yeah, go ahead and add me on Threads. I'm sure I'll pay attention to that. So here's the other one. Let me switch back over to this view. So here are the legs from the body, and this is the free resin that I got at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival, by the way. And the resin's actually quite nice. It's a really nice dark gray color, and it's an 8K resin. I've got a 6K printer. I missed a tiny piece of support there, I think. And then this is the other wing. So the other wing just came out. I did have a little bit of non-gray resin in the thing when I started printing the other wing. I don't think that made a difference as far as the quality of what printed, and whether the pieces fit together or not. But you never know. These pieces are generally fitting together okay. Might need a little work, but we'll see. I'll try sanding down the knobs here a little later, but this is the other wing. So there's There's the other wing, just very loosely fit together. So between that wing and this wing, like that dragon was going to be enormous. Because this one went sideways, and then this one was on the other side of the building. Like that print would have been ridiculously big. Although I kind of supersized the other dragons. So, I mean, ridiculous big is kind of my MO these days, apparently. But like these two pieces actually fit pretty well together. You know, there's a bit of a gap in there. Like when I look through it, I can see a bit of gap. So I might try and sand them down a tiny bit, or try to figure out like where do I need to sand, just so that this front-facing edge like meets together a little bit better. I might continue to build the big one myself, like for my own use. We'll see. The other neat thing about having all these pegs and stuff is that when you're fitting the pieces together, and you want to kind of know like where the tension is, like where things are not lining up, is you can kind of squeeze it and like wiggle it together. And then when you pull it apart, you kind of see this white dust left behind. And that's the friction of where the two pieces met, because this resin tends to like turn into a bright white dust when you're sanding it and grinding it and so on. And so you can kind of see like that little button on top got a bit of friction and things like that. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea of like where you have to go in and like sand things down and stuff like that. It's a little bit like when you go to the dentist, if your dentist uses that carbon paper where they put in a filling and then they put that stuff in there, like, all right, bite down on it, and then it actually puts the carbon on the tooth or on the filling, so they know how to grind it down a little bit better, so you're not like, you know, hurting your teeth. It's kind of the same principle that I'm thinking for the resin. But again, when I make the front of it match, the back of it has a gap. And if I make the back match, then the front has a gap. So I need to figure out like how best to sand these down to make them line up right, and then figure out how to resin weld them together. So what I was doing last night is I was literally just holding the part together with a glove on my hand, of course, and just dropping resin on there with, this is a really nice shiny resin filament too, by the way. And just putting a like resin along the seam and then just hitting it with a UV flashlight. Being careful not to get it on my hands, because as we learned on the last airbrush stream, putting resin in a cup and shining a UV light on it actually gets pretty freaking hot, and I actually burned my hand a little bit. So 30 million signups on day one for Threads, yeah. Well, when they first launched, they also didn't have an Android client. So they're like, hey, we got 10 million signups in 7 hours. It's like, yeah, that's all the people with iPhones. They didn't launch the Android app right away, but they had it launched by this morning. So there's no weight-bearing thing on the 3D printer floor panels. Oh, okay. You rolled over it on a stool with no issue. All right, cool deal. Cool. So I've got a lot of choices. I can do some airbrushing on the large dragon. We can start putting some paints together, or I could work on some helmets. You signed up day one with Android? I couldn't sign up on day one with Android. It wasn't. I couldn't find it in the App Store. It told me it wasn't available. I don't know. It was available today, so I signed up today. One thing that I saw about Threads, though, is it imports everything from Instagram, but you can't delete your Threads account without also deleting your Instagram account. So they get intertwined to the point where you can't delete Threads without also deleting Instagram, which seems like a bit of an issue. Had to search for the full name, maybe that's why. Well, actually, no, because when I went to the like coming in like 24 hours, they had that timer thing. It said coming for like iPhone. Like they specifically said on the site it was only for iPhone. Anyway, later today I got in on the Android app. Cool. So what do you all want me to do? You want me to get into some airbrushing, or do you want me to work on helmets? I mean, the resin's going to take a little while, or I could work at grinding the wing a little bit and make those fit. If y'all want to see my process for that kind of stuff, where I can just start sanding like the cowl and Gigi Bab's helmet, things like that. I can get cameras and I'll get my other microphone set up and stuff. What do you all want me to do? We got about 12 viewers in here. We got close to 20 viewers. I'm happy to do the giveaway if folks are just here for the giveaway and you want to hang out for that. I can do the giveaway real quick, and then I'm just going to work on whatever. I'm kind of leaning towards airbrushing the big dragon because that's got to get done by the end of the month. The helmets are lower priority. Resin gets very hot when it cures. Indeed, it does. So yeah, get in on the giveaway for sure. We're going to give away an articulated dragon today. So do the airbrushing. All right, I can do the airbrushing. Yeah, I mean, it's got to get done either way. So, so what I'm thinking, let's do this. Let's go look up what like fey dragons and fairy dragons tend to be, what they tend to look like when they are painted. Let's see if we can find a good representation of what a fey dragon airbrush color scheme is going to look like. Oh, that would be cool. Oops. Helps if I click on the browser, not on OBS. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, do different tones of browns or golds for the body, and then like, I like how there's like these bright neon sort of accents and stuff like that. But the like, this one looks like, you know, very calm and gentle. You know, very nice looking horns. You know, droopy ears. Looks very relaxed. You know, looks like a very kind. You know, but overall kind of gold tan with very colorful fringe and butterfly-like wings. These wings are going to have big claws on them, so they're not going to be like the big friendly Disney, you know, looking kind of thing. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. Oh, do like a black body with like blue and purple neon accents. Dude, that looks kind of sick. I'm not going to lie. That one looks pretty cool. I wish it would have linked directly to the thing. There it is. Something like that. And just get in with like some bright blue, like neon blue and purples and stuff like that. I'm thinking that kind of scheme. What do y'all think? What's everybody else in chat think? Ian just got inspiration for future prints. I know, right? If you want to be an evil fae, you could just do a Maleficent dragon, maybe. But I mean, I kind of like this one. Do a darker body, and then just hit the accents with the neon blue and the neon purple. That could look kind of sick, actually. I don't know about doing the rings on the wing like that, but I mean, I could definitely do, because the wings have more of this rib structure in the wing like this. So I'd have to kind of work around that a little bit. Something like closer to the ribs, I might do like the bright blue, and then in between, like kind of fade to a purple, and then back to the blue, back to the purple, back to the blue kind of thing. And then the ribbing on the outside, like the actual structure of the wing, could be that dark tone. This one's got spikes on the tail. Our dragon's got like the big fan tail, but I could do the similar like blue and purple kind of scheme on the tail as well. I'd wonder about using a rainbow filament and use like a rub and buff for the black finish. That could be interesting. But yeah, I mean, we're about to get into some airbrushing here, so I'm thinking like I could do the throat here I'd probably coat everything in like a metallic black to start off with. So I've got lots of pearlescent black and like dark pearlescent grays and things like that. So I could come up with like kind of a dark metallic charcoal to put down as a base coat on the whole thing. And then we could mix up some blue and purple and do like the kind of the throat and a bit of the chest that gets exposed. And then everything else could just stay that black color. And then we need to figure out the terrain. Let me get the base of it. So on the core of the dragon, so where the neck and the body connect, these parts kind of go together like that. So I can hit this whole thing with the blue and the purple. I can do black across the whole thing, and then you get some of the scale exposed on the back of the dragon up around the tail. And then the tail is kind of a fan style tail. So we've got the scales coming up the tail that we can do the blue and the purple all the way up the back of the tail. And then again, we can kind of fan out the blue and the purple from these ribs, and I can get black detail in on those ribs. And then for the back, like where these scales are, again, I can do, if it's kind of that black metallic, across the whole body. We've got some spikes on the legs. I could do the spikes on the legs in that bright white, like the picture. The spikes on the back here would be a little bit harder to do in white. But I could do in a lighter sort of shade, like I could get into more of a silver and like just hit it with like a strip of silver down the back, maybe. With the black, with the blue and the purple. I actually might hit the top with a bright blue, to be honest, or actually I would do a darker blue. So you go from the black into like a dark blue, back into the back into the black, and then on the underside it would be like bright blue, bright purple, and then on the ridiculous oversized wings, this is where I'm thinking we can get into the blue and the purple. So again, the wing will be kind of that dark base, and then the main part of the wing here, this will all be done in black. But then the ribs, I can kind of like the whole thing will get kind of done in a black, but then where these ribs are, we'll kind of hit this as kind of like a darker blue over the black and go into, or actually, the neon blue, and then go into the purple, and then back to the blue, back to purple, back to blue, back to purple, back to blue, kind of thing. What do y'all think? RJM, thanks for the extended follow. So if you follow me more than a year, you get a bunch of extra giveaway points for being a longtime follower. And yeah, so bets just came out of lurk, and you got 15 giveaway points for watching the channel for 30 minutes. So yeah, just being here and hanging out in the community, even if you're lurking, you'll still get giveaway points. And then you can turn around and convert those into tokens and reserve those tokens for prizes. Hooray! So you can choose how many points you want to convert. You don't have to convert them all. If you want to convert them all, you're totally welcome to. Any points that you don't convert, though, my intention is those are going to roll over month to month through until we do the October giveaway. So if you're just following now in July, you'll start to gain points. July, August, September, you'll continue to accrue points whenever you come by and watch and hang out with us. The more chatting you do, the more commands you run, channel points, and all that kind of stuff, you'll gain more points for giveaways. And then when October hits, you'll have even more points then to exchange for tokens, depending on the prizes that we give away in October. So again, the idea of doing it in October is that I can get everything mailed out in time for holidays. That's why we're doing that in October. So Digital Dragon also with a boatload of points for being a longtime follower. So if you follow me less than a year, I think I give you like 10 points a month. But if you follow more than a year, I think I give you 15 points for every month, something like that. Who wanted the red gold dragon? That would be Digital Dragon that we just saw there. So Digital Dragon, I don't know if you saw this or not. I wasn't paying attention, but Amelin makes a red gold filament. It's a rainbow transition filament. So if you win tonight, I'll make you a red gold dragon. It won't quite be the copper color, but it does look really nice in the red and gold. If you go check out my Instagram, I'm pretty sure I've got some pictures of the red gold filament on there. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for the dragon. We're gonna go for kind of this style, I think, for the dragon. What do y'all think? Yay or nay? Should I do this or should I do a different style? Should I keep looking for different inspiration for the dragon? Let me know in chat if you think I should go for different inspiration, or does this inspiration look okay? And then the horns that come off the face of the dragon I can do in the bright white. And then the wing tips, there are little claws that come off the wings. I can do those in a bright white. And then on the wing itself, it's got like a big claw here. I can do that in a white. Otherwise, it'll be like kind of the dark metallic, charcoal kind of color. Like I'll mix together some nice metallic charcoal. Tricolor is also looking for ideas. Awesome. So many options, I know. That's the good thing and the bad thing about this is there's a lot of options. So I can open that image in another tab just so we continue to have that inspiration. And we will we'll go back and continue to look for other Fey Dragon ideas here. So far, I'm liking that one. Let's go to images here. Let's see what else we can find. Like that would be really cool. This was another kind of idea, like do more of the earth tones. But then we'd still have to figure out the wings and stuff like that. This kind of tone would be kind of interesting as well. Like, again, do kind of muted colors on the body, but then like really bright neon sort of highlights. But yeah, our dragon kind of looks like this. So trying to paint that up as a Fey dragon gets a little tricky. That one's colored more from the environment than the dragon itself. Oops. That's kind of interesting. The body is kind of a dark blue sort of color, but then you get into like rainbow colors on the wings. Our dragon doesn't have feathers though. And I got my ad blocker in effect, so I can't go to any of the sponsored links. That one's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously I can't make it translucent because it's not a translucent resin, and I've already given it a primer coat. But again, we could do like a kind of an earth tone and then extend that out into a bright neon and put the white fringe along the edges. That's a possibility. And then we could do something similar on the base here because the terrain is pretty generic on this base. I can kind of do whatever we want with the terrain. This is kind of what a lot of people think of when they think of like Fey dragons, is they get more of the butterfly wing style wing. But this is also an interesting sort of color scheme as well, where it's oh, you're not gonna let me see that in a bigger size, are you? But again, we could do like the body in a purple and do a lot of the fringe in like a bright fire red. We've got more of a fan tail on ours, but I could do the little toenails on in like a bright yellow and like give it some bright yellow highlights. But not much going on the wings here. Just it kind of fades out from the purple to the dark blue, and then the ribbing, you know, they kind of hit that with a different color as well. Oh, actually, yeah, they've got the white spots on here. I mean, I could mask it off and do something like these sorts of spots on the wings, but these wings are a little more what's the word? They're more programmatic or something. Like they're very defined. Where, you know, as far as where the ribs are, they're all the same size. They're not. It's not like one wing with a bunch of random sort of vein rib things going through them. Like these ones are very, very definitive, like very hard defined, you know, kinds of wings. Let's go check out some of these other links that y'all are sharing here. Let me pull them up in chat. Thanks for finding these, everybody. Appreciate it. Always appreciate the assistance here. All right, so we had... Oops, where did that go? I thought it went over to this window. Did it not go over that window? Oh, it opened up in the wrong tab. I go pull them up over here. So, in no particular order. So yeah, again, a lot of earth tone kind of colors. But we don't really have the detail of like leaves and stuff. So like I don't have leaves on here. So I just need more like color scheme because we don't really have those other kinds of details. Yeah, that one's kind of interesting too with the blue and the green. All right. So everything from earth tones to kind of neon colors here. Let's see what else we get. Yeah, that was the other one that I pulled over already. Be creative with the painting. I mean, that's the idea. I want to be creative with the painting. Think slugs. Betts is suggesting green and purple. Okay. Like green and purple for the body, or like green for the body and the wings and then like fade into a purple. That's where I'm going to need a little inspiration, I think. Let's see what else we got here for Fey Dragons. Actually, I didn't find too much, so let's take off the word airbrush. There we go. See, I think this is what a lot of people think of when they think of Fey Dragon, is like big butterfly style wings and whatever. And I mean, I could mask out with, you know, white airbrushing. I could kind of mask out these kind of butterfly patterns on these wings. That's kind of a cool color. Again, scowly face kind of thing. Let's open that in another tab. There's green and purples that Bets was saying. This is actual Fey Dragon from Flight Rising, some kind of tabletop game. So that's kind of a possibility here as well. So light green into dark green, and then kind of like this aqua sort of color on the wing. Not a lot of like color detail, a little bit of fringe on this here. So I mean, we could definitely get into like really bright purple as some of the accent colors. So we find, oops, in a new tab. So that would be an interesting kind of look. Do the body in a green, and then again, like we could get into the whites and the pinks and stuff like that on the wings as well, and do like the light blue and the pink and stuff like that. That would be kind of an interesting sort of scheme. I'd have to do it on both sides of the wing and try to match up where on the wing I've made the color. But we could totally do these different stripes on the wing. Just, you know, go in with the airbrush and just paint in these random sort of ribs and styles and circles and stuff like that. This kind of thing is totally doable. So then we could keep kind of the dark green, kind of earth tones, maybe gold on the claws, and then like this darker blue for the actual like outline of the wing, and then do these kinds of colors on the wing. So that's a possibility. Pull this one. Got kind of light blues, a lot of white accent colors, getting into dark blue by the time you get out to the edge of the wing, and then like little highlights in bright pink. This is kind of what I'm thinking too, is like we can hit it with like little splashes of color. This has got like pink on the tip of the tail. And the horns, you know, it kind of bleeds into the body a little bit. I mean, bleeding color on an airbrush just kind of happens by accident anyway, so that's really easy to do. Bright pink eyeballs, gold teeth with kind of a dark pink mouth. That's totally a possibility. So something along those lines. Bets was saying fade into purple. So was it this one, Bets, or the previous one? RC Maniac keeps mentioning slugs. All right, let's go look for slugs. I mean, you want like a leopard print kind of slug? Or are you just thinking like from a core color scheme, just like really dark muted tones with like occasional highlights? All right, Triclaw found us something. Let's go see what Triclaw found us. Thank you, Triclaw. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. So this is a nice kind of bone white color fading into blue in the crevices, and then going from blue to dark blue to purple to magenta on the wing. Same with the tail. You get this really nice progressive color scheme as you go out. Green and white. Think of ivy plants. Okay. So I missed a chat here. It's like dragon trappers, maybe. Right, so we got some really good ideas coming in here. Slugs belong to the subclass Pulmonata. Soft, slimy bodies, generally restricted. Yeah. Let's just look at images of slugs. Bright red, bright blue, lots of dark colors, lots of brown, beige, you know, whether there's a pattern on them or not. Many of them are kind of a solid color, bit of a blend of color in them. Look at the picture that you sent. Where did you send? See, you talked to me on like 5 different channels, so you're gonna have to be more specific when you sent me the picture. Green and white. Plants. Yeah, we did. In Twitch chat. Not true. You sent me a lot of pictures on SMS. So let me go pull up Twitch chat. See, I didn't get a... See, were you trying to tell me that you like DM'd me an image? Or did I just miss this link from before? Because I don't see a whisper from you on Twitch either. So many channels to like... Oh, you sent it on... Is it Discord? No, that was a different thing on Discord. Now I have it open. Okay, cool. Hey DC, good to see you as well. We're trying to find a color scheme for painting a dragon for the July giveaway. So we had a bunch of people ask for like a fey dragon, fairy dragon kind of color scheme. So we're looking at a handful of different kind of schemes for different ways of fading in colors and what we want to do there. So I've already got that. Where was the other one? I already got that one open. We had that one kind of fade into like different kinds of purples, a little bit of white fringe around the head. We had this one where we had like fade from a light purple into a deep blue with a really bright sort of accent, like single accent color. We had this one where it's kind of a dark charcoal color with really bright neon accents. Had that one, which is kind of muted tones. I mean, a lot of like bright, vivid blue and you know, kind of this aqua green. But that would only be 2 colors for the whole thing. Like I'd have to figure out some other kind of like fringe color. Then RC Mania kept talking about slugs. Triclaw found us this one, which looks pretty sweet. And then RC sent us this link. I want to clarify my preferred contact method. I mean, just post links here in chat. If you find something that you want me to consider for a color scheme, just drop the link here. I don't block anybody from sending links. So the dark body bright one, DC, are you talking this one? I mean, I like that one. All Fey Dragon pics have been sent 100% in Twitch chat. Oh, okay. Sorry that I missed that. See, not on purpose. Just been dazzled by all these pictures of dragons and stuff. So this one's kind of interesting. I mean, it's just kind of dark earth tones with some gold fringe. Not much in the way of wings. Like it's got kind of these single, like almost dragonfly style wings. But I mean, we could do something similar where we have like kind of a muted drab green, kind of brown sort of body, and then do like a bright yellow, bright gold kind of fringe. I'd love to get some other color in there, like hit it with some neon color of some kind, just as a kind of a paplow, in your face kind of thing. And then one of these dragons had, Which one was it? Lost track of it now. I guess we don't need the slug picture anymore. One of these had a bunch of white fringe, like a bunch of white accent around it. I might have closed it. No, it was this one. Had like the white edging around the fringe on the outside of the wing. Like we could definitely do that. So this is like darker tones through the body. Get into like gold on the chest and on the neck and on the tail, and then blend out into like other golds and yellows. I'd love to hit it with some other kind of accent color though. Either like a neon of some kind would be nice. Maybe for this one, you know, I mean, do something in this bright neon pink or something is kind of the accent color. You know, just here and there, you know, just hit it with like a little bit of bright pink or something, and then do some white fringe similar to what we see on this one here, where we just kind of hit it with like some white highlights and stuff like that. I think it just really makes it pop all that much more. I don't know if they don't have a close-up. Let's open this up in another tab. See if we can get in a little closer on that head. Wow, that is a lot of detail on the face. But like, this is what I'm thinking is like, you know, we can hit a lot of these bony protrusions in like a really bright white. I could do a bit of a feathering on here with a paintbrush after we get the airbrushing done. They only did like part of the face and like into the claws a little bit. They didn't do the whole body because they're obviously sticking with this translucent resin kind of mold. All right, DC's throwing some options at us here too. Let's see what we got. And Bet sent one over as well. Let's pull that one in. So let's go take a look at what DC sent us. So from DC Sublime, we got like monarch butterfly kind of wings, kind of a raptor style body, but going from that dark blue down into the tan. We could get the horns in white. Totally a possibility. The monarch wings on that would be kind of an interesting look. I'd have to think of how it would blend from the body into the wing though. Like this one almost seems a little too abrupt. Like there's no, I mean, maybe it's just the view, but there's not a transition from the blue into the monarch that you can easily see. Just because you get the monarch color on both sides of the wing, but like you don't see enough of the detail here in the shadow to see what the transition looks like. So I would love to do like more of the wing, like come into about here on the wing with the blue, and then like fade into the monarch pattern. Like fade into the orange and then like do more of the monarch towards like the latter 2/3 of the wing maybe. It's like Bet sent over another one here. Ooh, that one's neat. Zoom in on this one if we can. Nope. See if I can load that in another tab. There it is. So this is kind of a bone white green kind of accent. I like the deep blue eye on here. The horns on this dragon kind of come out from like where the ear is here, and then there's another like big one that comes out at the bottom of the jaw around here. And then the back of the wing has like these kinds of protrusions that I could do in some kind of accent color. This would be an interesting sort of blend, like going from kind of that bone white into kind of a dark aqua, go out into a bright green. Whether we do like an eyeball spot like this on it would be kind of interesting. But hitting it with that bright green, it gives it kind of a pop, you know. I like the color scheme on the body where it's, you know, kind of goes back and forth between the muted green and then like the highlights are kind of in the light color, and then there's all these bright just little points of like little blue spots here and there. Ours has a fan tail though. We'd have to figure out what to do with the tail. We could do the tail similar to the wing. So yeah, that one looks pretty cool as an idea. We might need to start getting a poll going here to see what people like, because we got a lot of good options. This one has a lot of cool contrast colors in it. I love how the orange is reused in the eyeball. I think that really kind of catches, and then having the white bony protrusions on like for the horns, I think stands out really well. This kind of blend from the tan into the blue would be easy to do on the body. The spikes along the back I could do in kind of a white highlight as well. What's the tail look like on this one? It's just a fringe on the outside of the tail. So we'd have to figure out what to do with the tail. But again, I could mimic a little bit of like the orange and black that we would do, kind of the monarch style here. I'm just trying to think of how we would do the monarch style on this kind of wing. Like, I would want to see more of a blend where this part of the wing is the blue from the body, and then like gradually, like, within a quarter inch, like fade into the orange, and then have like the monarch pattern like out here a little bit more. But like right along the outer side here would be that blue from the body, and then like very quickly fade into the orange. Just that way it's not a very drastic like, oh, this part's blue, this part's orange, because that picture looks like a pretty drastic change from one to the other. So that would be one thing that I would alter on that design if we did that one. I like this one just for the white fringe and how it kind of goes from the one color into the other color. What's interesting on this one is how most of the body is kind of this like white sort of color, and as you get closer to the feet where the details are, you start getting into much more vivid color. That's kind of an interesting like sort of accent. Like, it draws the eyes to the feet definitely a little bit more. It's almost like the dragon is invisible and you only get to see like parts of the dragon. But I really like the white fringe and the white accent and the feathering that they do along the neck here. You zoom in on that. I really like the feathering that they do here. That would be easy enough to get in and do with a paintbrush. It would be pretty time consuming though. And I've only got the month of July, and I've got 2 big dragons to paint. So I do need to be a little bit careful with my time as far as like how much time are we budgeting to get the thing painted. That one I opened in another tab. There it is. So again, we're reusing that blue on the eyeball. This one we could just hit it with kind of the darker green tone, and then come back with the lighter tone for the accent. So you get like some of the green, like the darker undertone would kind of shine through. And then the wings, we could do the outer part of the wing in this bony sort of bone green color, and then quickly fade into the aqua, fade out to bright green by the fringe of the wing. Like by the outer part of the wing here, we could get into that bright green. And then occasionally we could just like throw some spots, of color, do the circles or something like that. Having the extra eyeball thing on here, I mean, it's a nature thing, right? You want something to attack your wing, not your body. Or make yourself look bigger by having an eyeball on your wing. But yeah, that's an interesting style. That one I don't think gives us enough option. It's all just purple and then gradually blends into blue. So we'll nix that one. I still really like this one. This one I think is a little too simplistic, although I really like the neon eyeball. Like going from like this really dark tone into like suddenly just a really bright, vivid accent. Like I like that detail. So if we do a darker color, I would love to like get in with like neons and whites and like do that for the eyeballs or something like that. I think that'd be neat. This one is freaking fantastic. Again, we've got kind of that bone white color. We're getting into different fringe, but then the gradient of the wing on this one looks really, really nice. We could certainly do kind of this color along the outer part of the wing and gradually fade into all these other colors on the wing kind of as it goes out towards the edge of the wing. So that one's still a possibility. This one's interesting. I don't know if it's going to give us enough options. I mean, I could do kind of the gray, green sort of body tones, hit it with a bit of gold accent, like, where we see the light sort of hit the underside here. I could certainly do the chest and the neck and the tail in that bright gold, and then fade the wings into the bright gold and do do like the white accents and maybe throw in some of that magenta pink in there as well. Triclass sent over another one, not exactly a dragon. That's all right. Always happy to take a look at things that we can draw inspiration from. Why won't that open though? Let's try that again. There you go. Wow. The amount of detail on this is ridiculous. Look at that. Man, that is a lot of paintbrush work. So our wings don't have nearly that amount of detail. Our wings are more of a leather style and not the feather style. I mean, I could mimic it, but it would be an enormous amount of work. This body's very smooth. Ours is like mostly scaly. But wow. That's really intense. That one looks really cool. Again, you know, you've got kind of the one base color here along the chest, and then the scales you're getting in, like you're starting with an undertone and then gradually hitting it with accent. I could probably work with that to some degree. You know, we got a lot of good definition around what the feet look like. Our feet are very scaly as well. And then incorporating like the fire around the head. What would that look like, I wonder? There it is. What do I do around the head? I mean, I could just fade into the fire sort of head on it and do like the golds and reds around the head and then fade back. Except this looks more like a lion's mane, kind of like this is meant to be kind of that feature. The only thing I could think of would be to do the head in that red color, and then you know the horns along the back continue to do that red gold, and then the underside here would be the tan, and this would be kind of the gray green that sort of green yellow sort of thing along the side, and then the body I can continue that green and yellow, keep the underside that light tan that we see down here in the body. Like where we see, you know, this kind of color, we could do the bottom of the neck and the chest and the back of the tail in this color, and then everything else we can kind of keep this mix of, you know, going from the aqua blue into the yellows along the body, but keep this fire red going all the way down the back and maybe up the tail a little bit. And then on the wings, they've got kind of that bright green going for the structure of the wing, which we have. But we'd still have to figure out some other color for the wing. Like I could go with some of the burgundies and the dark reds and stuff like that in the wing. I'm just thinking like from an overall kind of perspective, like what are we drawn to in the picture? We're drawn to like the really bright colors. So you're kind of drawn to the head and the edge of the wings. You're not drawn as much to the side of the wing unless you're really looking at the detail. Or the stomach here, because you're kind of looking for that detail. So anywhere that you put a highlight, that's why you know kind of hit this with white paint later on, because you want to kind of attract their eye to that later on. So I just realized this thing is like circling its clutch of eggs. So to cockatrice, okay, lots of earthy tones with accents, yeah. Do that. I mean, I like the idea of the red and the gold on the head. You know, and again, you can get in with the dark burgundy around the eye, do a bright red or bright magenta eyeball or something like that. I love how it kind of goes down into black around the snout. We could certainly fade in those colors as well. I could probably mimic some of this detail on the tongue, because this thing does have a tongue that sticks out. And then just carry the... So I'd probably have to do the whole thing in the magenta and then come back and hit it with the highlight for the yellow. And then the horns, I could still do the horns in the black. So the horns on the head and the talons could still be this really dark black kind of color. Did a great job bringing it to the attention. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like the more you look at it, the more you see. for sure. So yeah, lots of interesting colors, lots of choices here to kind of pick from. This one's kind of cute, but I don't think it really works with the style of dragon that we have. This one is also very doable. We've got kind of the bright green on the underside, which kind of carries over as highlights. I mean, there's a lot of shadow on this one, but we can kind of mimic the light green along the chest, darker blue along the back, and kind of carry those tones across the whole thing, and then using that dark blue from the back to carry the structure of the wing, and then get into kind of the pastel colors. I'd have to try to figure out how to mix up the pastel colors, because most of the colors I have are more on the brighter side. I'd have to really mute them down with whites and grays to get into the pastel tones, but definitely a possibility. This one's nice. Doesn't give too many colors. It's just kind of the one color of blue with a little bit of white accent here and there, and then like a little bit of darker blue by the outside of the wing, and then the bright pink. It's nice, but for the size of this model, I think we're going to need more than kind of 3 colors. Even if we're getting in a lot of different blending for the shadows and stuff like that. This model has enough detail that just hitting it with the base coat and then hitting with the occasional highlight would give us enough of that shadow. I like the blue and the dark pink. I might do that one in the future. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to bookmark that one for later. This one, I think I'm going to keep around just for the inspiration on the white fringe. I'm not going to paint it like that one. We already talked about the Monarch one. We talked about this one. All right, let's talk about this one. So this one, the whole body is kind of that dark black color. And the only color accent we see was a little bit on the face. And then the wings obviously get into the bright neon and the bright purple as well. Again, we don't have to do the big circles or anything like that, but it would basically be prime the whole thing again in black, because I put a coat of gray primer on it. I could hit it with a primer of black, and then I could just go over it quickly with a light metallic. That way I'm not using a ton of metallic paint. So I'd go back over it with a black primer, and then I'd hit it with a black metallic, and then I can go in with the neons and like add the highlights on the neons. Again, the structure of the wing in that black gradually fade into some of these other colors. The neck and so on in these colors would be easy enough to do. The head here, they went with more of the purple. We could certainly do the horns in white. I might do the eyes in like a bright yellow, just to kind of accent the blue and the purple. But I really like that they've got kind of a splatter in here, like they're almost going for a celestial, like kind of space nebula kind of theme. Again, I would love to do like a neon type of effect similar to the eyeball on that, but other than that, I think that one's a little too plain for what we want. I really like the color fade because you're going from a lot of different colors throughout the wing. I think this could work out well on our wings, so that's a possibility. I'm not sold on this one, if I'm honest. I think, again, similar to the other ones, I think there's not enough sort of different color in this to really figure out what we would do as far as a color scheme. This one just has a lot going on for sure. All right, so we've narrowed it down to like 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've narrowed it down to 7. All right, so good job, everybody. Let's do the giveaway, and then we'll continue to narrow down our choices here. So exclamation point giveaway, if you want to get on the giveaway for an articulated dragon. I will give you choice of color. I've got a handful of these already printed. And yeah, definitely high fives. Thank you, everybody, for coming up with different options. Very much appreciated. So yeah, exclamation point giveaway. We'll do a dragon giveaway here. While y'all are doing the bang giveaway, I'll go get some of the colors. So it's the other lightsaber to go with the set. All right, what do we got? It's a red, blue, purple from Amelin. Yes, from Amelin. Red, blue, purple. That's one choice. We have the new Twilight color one that we got from... Shoot, I don't remember now. It was on Filament Stories a while back. Courtney highlighted this one. And I'm like, I like those colors. And it's got a very thick gold fleck sort of sparkle in it. It's now probably one of my top 10 rainbow type filaments. So it's dark blue, dark purple with a bit of a gold fleck in it. What else we got in here? Oh, we got the Polymaker Starlight Mercury. So this is kind of a lavender, like it looks silver, but you can kind of see the lavender pink sort of color shimmer happening on the head there. So depending on the lighting and so on, this is kind of a color shifting filament. So we got that one. And then what's this one? This is red, blue, black. So another one from Amelin, but instead of red, blue, purple, it's red, blue, black. These dragons are also all going to get given away throughout the month. This is a aqua blue, dark blue rainbow, also from Amelin. I really like their rainbow filaments, can you tell? This was another one that Amelin came out with, and I forget what they called this one. They said it was a deep gold, but it came out looking very dark green. But it's also kind of that gold color shift. So you can kind of see on the head right there, kind of you get that gold shimmer kind of effect in there as well. So it's actually really nice. Like it looks a little bit understated until you hit it with light at just the right angle. And you're like, oh wait, that's actually shiny. So that one's kind of a cool one. But yeah, they call it like deep gold, but it's like a really, really dark green. And then, yeah, they're just more of the same on the other ones. Wait, what was this one? Oh, this is just a Prusa Galaxy Black. Wait, Prusa Galaxy Black? RC, what was the black filament that Printed Sol was giving away at Rocky Mountain? It was kind of a black sparkle or something, wasn't it? I forget what they called it. I forget if this is the Prusament Galaxy Black or if it's the one from Rocky Mountain that Printed Sol was giving away. So basically you print anything in like a Jessie filament and they give you a spool of this black sparkly, they call it Galaxy Black as well. So it's a Galaxy Black. Everyone and their uncle's coming up with a Galaxy Black. So those are the color options. So whoever wins the giveaway, you'll have plenty of choices. Now Digital Dragon, if you get the giveaway, or Bet said if Bet's got chosen for the giveaway, then I'll do one in the red gold and ship that to you as well. Outcasted Wanderer, thanks for dropping in. So Outcasted Wanderer, I am not going to be in Vancouver after all. I know you're headed for BC in a little bit, but let me know when you are traveling there. Send me a message for when you're traveling to Canada, and I'll get those things mailed up in time for you. Since you're traveling from the land down under. But yeah, I won't be in Vancouver after all. I was supposed to be there like mid to late August, and the event got moved around a bunch of times, and then it just didn't work out. So, but I'm going to Toronto on August 2nd. So anyway, so speaking of which, so the monthly giveaways, I would typically say like the first stream I do in the following month is the day we do all of those giveaways. The first day after July ends is August 1st, and that would happen on a Tuesday, which I would normally be streaming. But because I'm traveling to Canada that day, I'm not going to be able to stream on the 1st. Not going to be able to stream on the 2nd. By the time I get home on the 3rd, I'm probably going to be exhausted. So I can do one of two things. I can just do the giveaway, and I can just announce who the winners are on the Discord community. Because since everybody's going to be registered, you won't have to be present for the giveaway. But, always a but. If I do stream and you happen to be there when I draw your name, I'm going to put something extra in the box. So, but that means that stream is going to get pushed to like the later part of that week. because I won't be streaming on the Tuesday or the Thursday that week. I'll stream on the Sunday, but the month won't be over yet. And so through the month of July and August, we'll still be raising money for STEM to the Future. But if we can meet our fundraising goal by the end of the month, I'm going to put something really big in as a prize. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it will be a commercial item of some kind. It'll be something that I buy and give away. And it won't be like another Lego kit. It'll be like a really nice giveaway. So if we can totally meet the fundraising goal by the end of July, then I'll add something else big to the giveaway. So if I stream like that Friday or Saturday later that week, so it'd be like August 4th or 5th or 6th, somewhere in there, I could stream then and do the giveaway. And then if you happen to be there for that giveaway, when I draw your names, then you'll get something extra in the giveaway. Or I can just draw the names and you get what you get. But either way, you won't need to be present to win. But if you happen to be there, then you'll get extra. So Digital Dragon, the reason it gave you that error is you don't have just a Pokeball. So you'll have to check your inventory to see which Pokeballs you have. And if all you have is cash, then you need to buy some Pokeballs. And then you can catch the Pokemon. Cool. Anyway. Or, wait 15 minutes. Because they only draw the Pokemon every 14 minutes or something like that. So, cool. Well, let's do the giveaway. And we'll see who is here. This giveaway, you will need to be present. So let's see how many entries we got for the day. We got 11 people in chat, and we have 5 entries. Y'all don't like free stuff. I'm going to wait a little longer for more people to enter the giveaway. Jay Brinker, I think you were already in. Oh, no. There you are. All right. There we go. It's a little better. I give away a lot. I know I give away a lot. And I know that I give away a lot of dragons. Who won the other day? The Daddy Wazzy that won? There's someone else with... Their name started with D. I can't remember. Was it Daddy Wazzy? Anyway, whoever won the other day, I'm still waiting for them to contact me to tell me what they want, because we're going to do laser engraving for them. All right, so Jay Brinker just got a ton more points for watching for a while. So you got lots of points. Be right back. You need hydration. No worries. So again, you can choose to exchange any number of those points for tokens and then reserve any number of those tokens for all the prizes. It's up to you if you want to reserve all the tokens ahead of time, because if we meet that fundraising goal and I add something else, then you might not have enough points for that other big giveaway. So there's a bit of a chance in there for are we going to hit the goal? Do we do that kind of giveaway? So again, Saturday is going to be my 2-year stream anniversary. I'll probably do some kind of donation, like donate-a-thon or something on there where like, if you donate so much money, I'll add like an hour of streaming time. And we'll have to figure out like, what do I do in that time? I'll probably do more airbrushing, to be honest, because that's kind of time consuming and it's also kind of cathartic. So I'll probably just be airbrushing all the things. By then, most of the resin printing will be done for the other dragon kit. So I'll fit that together and we can start airbrushing that. The dragon's going to be a separate model than the building. Because I said on that print, let me go back over to that screen. On this print, there it is. The building, like everything's going to be kind of that dark gray color, and I'm going to leave the building dark gray, but I am going to paint the dragon. So the dragon, and the tail kind of wraps all the way around the building and stuff, and it attaches to the body, and the dragon's like standing on the building. So I'm going to paint the dragon, like front and back, like all around the dragon. I'm going to print the whole dragon. But the building I'm probably going to leave alone. And so the building will just be like a dark gray kind of thing. I thought about doing the shingles. I could maybe do the shingles. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Once I actually see the building and the size of the building, we'll see whether I like throw like a little bit of a muted color on the shingle just to kind of stand out a little bit. Maybe I'll do like a dark aqua shingle or a really deep red shingle or something like that. But the dragon itself is going to be some really cool, vivid colors that I've got in mind. I may actually draw some inspiration from some of these other pictures that we found to do that dragon. Maybe I'll do that dragon in this kind of color scheme. I don't know. We'll see. Got a lot of options here. Y'all found some really good stuff. So that's one of the giveaways. The other one is the dragon head trophy that we see here. And I'll leave the recipient of this. I'll leave them the option of whether they want me to attach the head on the base before I ship it, or if you want to try and attach it yourself. They didn't add any kind of attachment to, like, you know, fit it on there to stay on itself. So you'll need some kind of adhesive to keep it on there anyway. And then this is the Great Dragon model from Fat Dragon Games. And then I'm also going to be printing this at some point from Final Fantasy. And probably paint it up in this color scheme, but that's not for a July giveaway. That's just something that I was chatting with PixStitch. If anybody knows Pix here on Twitch, we had a long conversation the other day, and we were talking about this model, and he's like, I really love this model. I'm like, now I love that model. And so he was asking about it. So I'm actually going to be printing this for Pix and shipping it to Pix, and Pix is going to paint his copy. But then I'm like, well, if I'm printing one, I might as well print two, and I'm going to keep one for me, and I'm going to probably paint this color scheme or something. I don't know. And then I'm going to be making one of these. So I have the LED strip, and I've got the 2020 extrusions. It's not going to be quite that big, but it'll be close. It'll be probably the size of what you just saw on the bed table there. But I'm going to make it API powered. So the lights are going to chase itself around the cube, and you have to make an API call to stop at a certain point. And if you can stop at the right point, you win a prize. We're going to use that for contests at work. I haven't told work yet that I'm going to build it, but I'm going to do the mirrors and stuff on it so it'll like really reflect. It should look pretty sweet. So I'm going to be building one of those over the next couple of months as well. Don't need any more. So yeah, so those are our giveaways. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna start airbrushing. Well, we need to do the giveaway. So how many giveaways have we got now? Anybody else getting the giveaway? We got 13 people in chat. We got 7 entries. So we're just over halfway. Can we get to 10 entries? We'll do the giveaway when we hit 10 entries. How's that? So go invite some friends over. Tell them there's like a free giveaway happening. Get some folks over here that we don't normally have in our community. Tell them to come over and say hi and join just for the night. You will need to follow the channel, but you don't need to sub or anything like that. But if you want to follow the channel so that you can enter the giveaway, that would be fantastic. And then we'll do the giveaway. We can get 10 people in there. How's that sound? So while we're waiting, let's do another round of color scheme picking for that dragon. I'm gonna hang on to these ones just for inspiration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, so we narrowed it down to 6. I think doing this one could be interesting. If I do the head in kind of the fire colors and bring that fire color down the back, similar to what we see here, like that fringe comes all the way down the back. And then we could fade into a burgundy on the wing, because we don't really have like feather detail on the wing, but we could do kind of like the darker tones, like keep the kind of this gray black sort of theme going through the structure of the wing, and then do like a darker undertone here that fades into a burgundy by the outside of the wing, maybe. This one's kind of nice. This one will be pretty involved as far as like where the colors go and where they blend. Triclaw says it may be much, but it's an idea to launch from. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is all just drawing inspiration, because I mean, none of these look exactly like the dragon that we're going to be painting. This one will be pretty interesting. I mean, it's just kind of this light blue bone color all over the body, but getting into darker tones as you're getting down into like the shadow areas. So for that, I'd probably do the whole body in the darker blue and then come back and overlay it with the lighter color just to kind of naturally give us some of that shadow in there. I'd probably do like a really bright color on the eyeball. Again, the horns are in a different spot, but doing the horns in a kind of a more natural bone brown kind of color could be cool. And then, fading into the different colors in the wings. I really like the color gradient here from the blue into the dark blue into the purple into the magenta. They can kind of go into a more drastic transition because they're using the feathers as that transition. Like here you've got a whole layer of feathers just as magenta. These ones are kind of dark blue into purple, and then these ones are just light blue with a bit of dark blue on the front on the outside. So we could do, I'm looking at more just the inspiration of, we can go from a light blue to these other colors. That would also be conceivable from kind of the color scheme of the dragon, where we need that same color on the structure of the wing. But yeah, because our wings are going to be more leathery, it doesn't really, like, it's not going to be an exact match on these. So that one's still a possibility. I like this one. My worry is that having the whole dragon be black, I'm trying to think of, here's a smaller scale of part of the dragon anyway. So if we do this one in that nebula kind of thing, where most of the dragon is black and we see the nebula colors on the wings, you're not really going to see the nebula color as much, depending on how you like put this down as a display piece. If you put it down like this, you'll see a bit, on this wing here, and you'll see a little bit under the wing here. But if you've got the thing kind of head on, you're not going to see the neon and the purple very much at all on the wings. So it would really depend on positioning. So I think for that case, I don't think that one is going to play well with this exact model. I really like the color scheme in it though, and so I'm going to save that one for inspiration. But I'm going to take that out of our running here. That model's from Print My Minis. Oh, sweet. Okay. So I'm going to pull it over here as inspiration for later. There we go. All right. So then we had this one, which was kind of dark green undertones, bone white across the whole thing, little spots of color. And I think the spots of color, we could get into like even brighter neon colors instead of just the aqua and the green. I think we've got a lot more possibility here of doing like pink and purple spots and still do the wings in that color gradient, starting with the bone white from the structure of the wing, and then get into the aqua, getting into the greens, getting into the really light greens. That's still a possibility. Having a bright eyeball, I think, is great. I'd have to figure out what to do with the horns, though, because if the whole body is kind of this bone color, then I'd want to do some kind of accent for the actual horns that's not also a bone white color. So that one might be a little tricky to come up with. I like the blending, and I like the idea of the spots for different accents. I think that could play out really nicely, and that would be really easy to paint on. Like I could literally just grab like a tiny little sponge and just like sponge on some dots. So I'm going to keep that one for inspiration. I really like the transition from the tan to the blue, but figuring out how to transition the wing from that dark blue purple sort of color into the monarch, that might be a little tricky. And I would also have to get into doing a lot of masking for the amount of detail on the monarch wing. It's a possibility, but for the amount of time that I have in July, I don't know that this is going to be a possibility to paint this and the other one in time for the giveaway in August. So again, I'm going to keep this for inspiration, mostly for the color blend between the body and the chest, but I don't think I'm going to be able to paint this monarch wing on both sides on two enormous wings in the time that I've got for the month. So I'll pull that over for inspiration. This one will be fairly easy to do. Again, the color scheme on the body, going from the green into a blue. Like, I think this one's mostly meant to be green, and it mostly looks blue because of the shadow. So I'd have to figure out some transition from the green into the blue. Like, I could do a brighter green on the chest and do a darker blue on the top and kind of fade that in. And then do but I still have to figure out how to mix the pastel colors for the wings. Let me see what kind of colors I get. I could fake it. I've got enough like really light pink that I could mix down with white to make more of a pastel. I've got bright blue colors that are both metallic and non-metallic, to where I could get into the lighter blue tones. I got plenty of shades of purples and things like that, and again, I can mix the pinks and the purples together to get various shades. So this one is a possibility, so we'll maybe keep that one for a vote. That one was just inspiration. That one was oh, so we've narrowed it down to 3. All right. That was easy. Time for a poll. Oh, the feathered dragon. This one that we're looking at, RC, is that the one from Print My Minis? All right, let's set up a poll here. Which color scheme should we paint our dragon? Oh. Which color scheme should we paint? So the first one is, how are we going to number these? 1, 2, and 3? I want to do something more clever than that. So we've got, I'm going to call this one pastel. I'm going to call this one blue to magenta, cockatrice. So we'll call this pastel. We'll call this like blue to magenta. And the other one was a cockatrice. All right, I'm going to give everybody 1 vote. We'll do that as a 10-minute vote, so it'll end on the hour. So go ahead and vote on that for me, please. And in the meantime, how many giveaway entries have we got? Giveaway. Did we get to 10? I don't think we got to 10 yet. We're still at 7 entries. All right, so we got a bunch of people hanging out in chat that don't want to enter, which is fine. That's totally all right. But go invite some friends over, please. And let them know that we're raising money for STEM to the Future. You don't have to donate to enter the giveaway. Everybody that comes in and participates, you'll be able to enter the monthly giveaways and do all of these fun commands for points and tokens and all that kind of stuff. So come hang out with us. Go let some folks know if you want to tweet. So if you tweet, retweet, post anything on LinkedIn about what I'm doing as far as the fundraiser, you can use !link followed by the actual URL of where you shared that post. And if it's Twitter or LinkedIn, then we'll all go follow you and reshare it and retweet it and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll award you a bunch of points for doing that. Let's see if I don't think we had any questions in chat today, did we? Nope, no unanswered questions. So again, you can also ask questions. You can do !Q followed by a question. And if the questions are appropriate around like whatever I'm working on for the night, whether it's coding or crafting or career development stuff, coding, crafting, and careers, it's all letter C's, then I will award points for those as well. Structure of the building's coming out really nice. That dark gray resin. So, actually, Maniac, you're asking me about the resin. Would I buy it again? I wasn't expecting it to be shiny, to be honest. Like, there's a really nice sort of shininess to it. The downside is painting it means I'm going to need to hit it with a little extra primer, but that's fine. You can definitely see the little ridges of even the really fine layers on resin. just seeing the tiny little steps that it takes to print out the layers in resin looks really amazing. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to line these things up, even for the bigger version of this. That goes on this side. There it is. Because it kind of fits, but it's a really tight, awkward fit. Like it feels like you need to sand it down or something to get it to fit in just the right spot. So what I might do is actually grind down the little bumps on here a little bit. Like I might grind them almost all the way off and just use this square post. Because even if I sand that square post down and it pivots a little bit, I can still line it up exactly where I need it to be. But I'm pretty sure it's those bumps that are like causing it to not line up. So, like any craft, different materials for different subjects. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a really nice filament. Like, if I was printing just a dragon and it was just going to be like on the shelf, I mean, I would totally do it in this dark gray resin that I got at Rocky Mountain. And huge shout out to RC for finding this resin for me. They were literally giving away like these 3D printed tokens, and if you took it back to their table, they're like, "Here's a free giant jug of resin for you," like big jug. Big giant jug of resin. But yeah, the detail on the 8K resin is nice. I mean, it's a 6K printer, so using 8K resin is totally fine. I think the average person's not really going to see the difference. Like if I were to print this on a non-8K resin printer and compare it to this, I think your average human being would have a hard time discerning some of the difference in the detail, just because resin is already super detailed. Speaking of resin and resin printers and visibility, I got accepted into a beta program for a resin printer. So they're going to be shipping that sometime in July, I believe. They sent me the contract, and I sent them back some ideas for revisions for that contract because it was a little weird. There were a couple of things in there I didn't agree with, so I sent them back some requested changes, whether they make them or not. But if it goes through, I'm going to get an industrial. Well, so the company makes industrial resin printers for like actually making like headphones and earpieces and dental implants and stuff like that, and they're trying to get into the pro hobbyist kind of market, and so they want me to unbox, live stream, do some prints and things like that on the stream, and I'm like, okay. And so there were a couple of things in the agreement that I sent back for revision. So if that goes through, then they're going to ship that sometime in July, and we'll unbox that in August. The only due date is I've got to have some kind of project finished and live streamed and talked about and tweeted and Instagrammed and blah, blah, blah before the end of the year. So there's plenty of time to do it. But they're going to be sending over like a bunch of different kinds of resin and stuff like that too. So it'd be pretty interesting to see what that looks like when it comes in. So we'll definitely get that unboxed and tinkered with when the time comes. Cool. Did we get anybody else? How did the family member like the golden fire dragon? Oh, you mean the family member that came by? Was he peeking at the screen? I couldn't tell what he was looking at when he came by. The golden fire dragon. I'm trying to think of which one that was. It will be a cool beta program, especially since I get to keep the printer and the wash station and the cure station. So it's 3 different machines. So I'm a little bit concerned about the size of the thing. So I'm going to have to totally clean off this workbench just to make sure we got room for it. But I'll make sure that the cameras get hung and positioned right, that we'll be able to see the whole thing. But it's a printer and a wash station and a cure station. So it's 3 different things, where right now my wash cure station is the same thing. You take the jug of alcohol off and then you put the turntable back on, and it's already got the lamp in there for the curing. It's the Anycubic wash station. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what the machine's going to be capable of, especially when it comes to speed and detail, and see what that comes up with. So just the reason that I mentioned visibility is because I wanted to share with all of you that that's a possibility coming up. I can't really share details about the agreement or what I've asked them to change. And I'm not supposed to talk about it on stream if it does get accepted and all that kind of stuff, but that's fine. But it will be a sponsored kind of thing, like here's the machine, let's unbox it and all that stuff. So I have to make sure that I promote it as a sponsored stream and all that kind of stuff to comply with Twitch guidelines and stuff like that. The big dragon. The big dragon with the coins on the base. So I didn't make coins. I made nuggets, and it's still sitting in a box. I haven't mailed it yet. I feel really bad. I'm like, I was supposed to mail that like so long ago. I need to like knuckle down and actually like wrap the pieces up and ship it. I actually need to reach out to my family member and ask, do you want me to assemble it and put all the adhesive on it, or are you comfortable with doing that? Because if they want me to glue it, I can glue it and like make sure it's nice and solid and then send that from there. It's just, it would take a lot more like bigger box and more packing material and whatever to make sure it gets there in one piece. So yeah, thank you for the reminder on that. I actually did see it earlier tonight. I'm like, shoot, that thing is still sitting in a box. But it came out so nice. Like I was really happy with that. So you can go check me out on Instagram, same username that I use here. You'll see pictures of Smog the Dragon on there. I don't know if the other family members even had their birthday yet, because I don't have it on my calendar to know when their birthday actually is. But I'll be sending that up pretty soon. Actually, I should do that tomorrow. I should get that boxed up tomorrow and ship that out because it'll take a little while to get to them in Canada. But yeah, the Smog Dragon turned out really well. I was actually pretty happy with how that came out for sure. You loved it while I was working on it? Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I might do another one. I mean, if there's enough interest in that kind of thing, like I'm allowed to sell that model. So if you go to ! catalog, it'll take you over to Cool 3D Things where I've got all the laser engraving and stuff like that. And I'm allowed to sell the Grey Dragon model, and I can do custom airbrushing. So if somebody wants to commission me to airbrush the thing, I can do it in resin. I can do it in FDM. Obviously this big giant one is FDM. The one that RC Maniac got was FDM. I did 2 other ones that were painted in FDM as well. This big one obviously is FDM and going to be airbrushed. But yeah, if you want one like custom painted or whatever, let me know. Totally happy to talk to you about specifics and timing and all that kind of stuff. It won't happen in July. July is going to be pretty busy. We've also got family visiting next week and the week after that. So that's also why I want to be careful about how much I commit to airbrushing this month. So, all right, looks like Cockatrice was the winner. We had 3 votes for Cockatrice. We had 2 for the blue magenta, and we didn't have any for the pastel. All right, so we're gonna try to figure out how to paint that Cockatrice paint scheme. So again, what I'm thinking is I'm going to make the head of the dragon and the stripe along the back. I'm going to do in kind of that fire red orange. I want to find something really vivid to do for the eyeball. So again, I really like that neon eyeball kind of look. So I might bring this out in like a really bright red with like kind of a trailing smoke sort of white kind of thing coming off of it, or like figure out how to do some kind of neon glow on there. The tongue I can kind of do in these colors. I'm mostly going to paint the inside of the mouth kind of a dark gray, and then I can add a little bit of purple on the tongue maybe. Sticking with the green and the black kind of color scheme around the body, totally doable. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to keep the front of the dragon in the gray primer, because I think this yellow over top of it is gonna go okay on there. But I think if I spray some black primer on the back, or at least around the body where these red stripes or the red and gold is not going to be, I think we'll have an easier time with these undertones, where I can then kind of come back in and stripe it with kind of this yellowy green kind of thing, transitioning from the tan. And then I'll do tan on the throat and the chest and around the tail on the back. So I'll try to match this kind of tone, blending from that up into the green and kind of this blue aqua green around the body. I think that'll be easy enough to do again over the dark tones. I think it'll come through nice. And then the wings, I'm going to hit those with a dark primer just so we've got that ready to go. And then we can always come back in with because we've got this same sort of structure on the wing here where we've got these parts sort of protruding through. So we'll be able to do the structure of the wing in that green black, and we'll do the other ribs in that same color, and then we can, you know, transition from that dark color into a magenta by the outside here. And that way I don't have to mask very much around these ribs, or I can do the ribs after. So I'll hit the, yeah, I'm going to do the ribbing after. So I'll do the wings in a dark primer, and then we'll gradually fade from the dark primer into the kind of this dark wine red magenta around the outside here, and it'll gradually fade into the black. And then we'll come back through and we'll do the green black overtones after that. Now some of this is going to have a little bit of magenta, so I might have to go back over these in kind of a black primer, and then come back over them with a green after that. And then these nubs here, which we also happen to have on our wings, they've got kind of in that dark cyan color from the body as well. So I'll just use that same paint color and I'll do the little nubs on the wing. The only other thing we would need then are the horns that come off the dragon itself, because again we've got these horns here. So let me zoom in on this. We've got this horn on the back of the head, and we've got this horn coming off the jaw, and then we've got these little spikes coming off the back of the wing. We'll have to figure out a color scheme for those. If I make this nub the same kind of dark aqua that the rest of the body was going to be, and then it's kind of fading into the lime green, you know, for the wings, then I'm going to need to figure out, or were we just going to do black? I mean, I could just do all the spikes and the horns just in black. You think that'd look fine? Need to head out. Thanks, Digital Dragon. Thanks for coming by. Let's draw that giveaway real quick. Giveaway daily dragon. We'll see whether Digital Dragon wins it. Sorry for making everybody wait so long. I did intend to do this earlier. All right, Bets. You won the dragon. So, Bets, if you're still around, Bets did say that if Bets won, Bets was going to give it to Digital Dragon. And for Digital Dragon, I was going to do the red gold. So Bets has, you can pass on it, yep, or you can give it to Digital Dragon if you want it. So if you want to give it to Digital Dragon, I'll do it in that red gold, or I can redraw. Okay, you claimed it, cool. So Bets, I can do. You can pass it on to Digital Dragon if you want, and then Digital Dragon if you want it in that red gold film, and I'll start that print tonight. Hooray! All right, cool. All right, so we got our color scheme. All right, we'll do that. All right, Digital Dragon, you got a dragon coming your way. I think you've already registered for the monthly giveaways. Did you not? Let me double check real quick if you registered. Digital Dragon. Gold works well. Should be registered. All right, cool. If I don't have your registration contact info, I'll reach out and I'll get your name and address and stuff, and I'll ship that out. Sweet. Well, thanks everyone for the giveaway. All right, so we've got a plan. I've got some airbrushing to do. So I'll get all these other dragons out of the way, and I'm going to start mixing up some dark primer to hit around the back of the dragon and the wings, and then I'll start planning out the gold and stuff. So I'll probably mostly do that off stream. It's already 9 o'clock here. So I'll probably do that mostly off stream. Else we need to do. So yeah, so I think, should I keep the horns in black? I think that was the question that we were at. So if I do the head in kind of this red gold, and you know, kind of come down into the gold and black for the beak and the snout, should I make the horns off the back here? Should I make those in the dark black like the claws? No, I mean obviously the claws aren't this defined, but when we look at the great dragon here, you know, you'll be able to see the claws and stuff. But if I'm doing kind of that red gold here, should I do these horns in black? I think it'll be a nice accent on the head if I do them in black. You'll be interested to see how this one turns out. I mean, I'll be posting on Instagram as I go. and you know, come hang out back on the stream. You'll see it on stream. I'll be showing it off as we go, similar to what I did with the Dragon Head trophy. So I showed everybody how it was like just the Neptune filament from Polymaker Starlight, and then I went in and I did the bony protrusion. You can still see the blue kind of shining through. Like this actually came out really, really nice. I was really happy with this. And then I kind of hit it with an accent, sort of blue green sort of shimmer around some areas, just to give it that little bit of extra accent pop. Doesn't all show up on camera, but it did turn out quite nice. And then I gave it like nice dark red eyeballs. There we go. Nice dark red eyeball. And the eyeballs are just a solid color. I didn't get too fancy with the eyeball. And then a couple little twofers kind of poking through the jaw. So yeah, so I'm excited to see how that goes. I'll probably sand down the base a little bit. If somebody wants me to adhere that, I'll sand it down and make sure that gets glooped on or something to adhere that for shipping. Could use black or blue from the wing nubs. Well, my worry is that the blue is going to kind of conflict a little bit too much with the red. I'm thinking more because the claws, like the talons, are black. Like having the horns in black is like that would kind of go together. My worry is that if I do the horns in this kind of blue, kind of aqua color, that it's not really going to go with the red up here. But there are a lot of other dark tones in here, like we're going to go dark on the beak and stuff like that. That having those horns in black, I think, could turn out all right. I mean, I could make them like just a really dark version of that kind of aqua color as well. But yeah, this one's gonna be fun to get in with all these different blendings and not sparkles, but like specks and stuff like that. Like again, we can kind of get in there with some highlight colors and stuff like that. This one's gonna be fun to do. And then there's spikes on the legs. So again, if we come back over here and look at this, there's these spikes on the legs. I'll probably do those in the dark aqua color that we're gonna get on here. Most of this body's gonna be kind of that dark aqua green. Like we'll blend it into the green once we get into the wing. And we'll go from there. So this picture is a little bit misleading because there's a very definitive cut in the model right around here where the wing actually fits into the body. It doesn't blend nearly as nicely as what they've got here. This makes it look like all one piece. It won't be quite that clean, but it'll look pretty nice. So yeah, I think I'm going to do the spikes in red, or the horns. We'll do the horns in deep black. And then same for the spikes coming off the back of the wing. I think I'll do those in black as well. So yeah, I think that'll come together nicely. So sweet. Okay, well we got a plan. So I'm gonna paint this big giant dragon after this model. Not exactly the same, but we're gonna draw some inspiration from it. 12-year-old is impressed, and then we're gonna fade the wing from kind of a dark tone into a magenta by the outside of the wing. Because we don't really have the feathers, but I'm going to use that same dark magenta for the outer part of the wing, like around here. And then we'll come back and we'll do all these, like the structure of the wing in that bright green, sort of green aqua sort of blend color from the body. Hello, how are you? Good. All right, well let's go see who else is hanging out tonight, and we'll go find somebody to raid. Anybody got any suggestions for who we can go raid? Feel free to drop that in chat. If you have any suggestions, I can go mute myself over here. I am muted. Amish Ace is playing again. Brit's online. We just raided into Brit. Polymaker's online. Babe Ross. What's Babe Ross up to? I think we raided into. Did we raid into Brit or Babe Ross last time? Was it Brit? Okay. Babe Ross is working on just some drawings or sketches or something. Amish is into video games, playing Only Up. Although he just started streaming. Let's see, who else is doing crafty, creative-y things? Anybody got any suggestions? Demon Speed 13? Never heard of them. Let's go see who they are. Always down to meet new people. That username does not exist. He wants to hit 900 follows. Well, if you can help by spelling his name properly, I will be happy to go check it out. But Damon Speed 13, I copied and pasted it from chat and tried to go to that channel in the browser, and it did not want to go there. Nope. So if they have an alternate spelling or something, let me know. Oh, just Demon Speed 13. Okay, let me try that one. Demon Speed 13, what do they do? Oh, they're doing minis. Sweet. So close to 900. Let's do it. Let's go give them a couple of follows, shall we? Do me a favor though. Don't take off yet. Let's grab this raid dad joke. So you know me, I love my dad jokes. And we'll go right over. We'll see how someone else does their painting. So join me over there. We'll meet somebody new, make some new friends over there. Be respectful, please, as always. I mean, you're all plenty respectful on my channel, but continue to be respectful over there. And we'll catch you over on that stream. I'll hang out over there and watch some painting. See you, folks.